Okay. Last time we were, I don't know, like a helicopter came in and some stuff happened, so we'll see. A rope uncoiled from the rear of the helicopter and soldiers came sliding down it one after another. The onlookers were stunned for a moment before realizing what they were seeing. It was the bloodhounds. The bloodhounds that Tomitake had called in. Having realized how bad the situation had become, Okunogi returned to the other members of the mountain dogs. Nothing was going their way anymore. The mountain dogs ran to the slope and disappeared into the woods. They dragged Takano with them, who couldn't understand what was going on. A voice echoed from a speaker attached to another helicopter circling around the mountain.
本日1蓋302入江機関の全権限は凍結され上級司令部の直轄となった。また同時刻上級司令部は入江機関全職員の武装解除を命じた。山犬中隊全隊員は直ちに武装解除し入江診療所裏駐車場もしくは山頂資材置き場に集合せよ。
How's your day?
これに応じない場合国内法及び自衛隊法に基づき 厳正に対処することをここに通告する。
Good. Nice. That's good to hear. Bloodhound members continued to slide down from the rope from the helicopter. Even at a glance, they were very different from the mountain dogs. They were armed more heavily, and the guns they had were much larger. Such things clearly differentiated the two units.
これで私たちの勝ちですの？わかりませんのです。僕も 初めてのことなので勝ったのかわからないのです。
Satsuko and Rika sat down and hugged each other. They were both soaked in rain, but they still sat down in the mud. Mion stood solemnly in the rain as the leader of the winning team. The mountain dogs had abandoned the field. They all ran away with their tails between their legs. Keiichi and Rena ran over to Mion.
Mion.
みーちゃん、終わったね。
ああ、これで部活は終わりさ。
リカちゃんも無事、みんなも無事。みーちゃん、勝ち取れる最高の勝利を勝ち取ったんだよ。
Sounds good, Evil Slime.
ミオンがみんなを率いたんだ。ミオンのおかげの勝利さ。
But Mion didn't seem to be listening to Keiichi and Rena. Instead, she mumbled to herself.
私さ、部活の罰ゲームって好きなんだよね。部活ってさ、残酷だよね。仲間で戦い合ってさ。つまりそれはその子がビリだってみんなが見下すことなんだよね。
見下してなんかいねえだろ。楽しく罰ゲームをしてそれでおしまいさ。
そう、罰ゲームで楽しく遊んで敗戦の賞の責任をさ、楽しくみんなで笑ってそれでチャラにできるから好きなんだよね。負けた本人も含めてみんなで笑って。
誰も傷つかない。みんなで楽しく笑っておしまいにできる。
おこのぎってやつは私に投げ飛ばされて叩きのめされなきゃ自分の罪がさ。そりゃさ、殺されそうに何度もなったよ。でもさ、もう終わりでしょ。ゲームセットなんだよ。なのに彼らにはチャラにする罰ゲームがないんだね。
Mion might have realized something when she threw Okunogi. Keiichi didn't think anybody else could understand that.
ミオンが何を言ってるのかわからねえよ。もう忘れろ。あいつらはもう終わりさ。
そうだね。これでもうすべて。
みんな生きてる。誰も怪我してない。今は最高のハッピーエンドを喜ぼうよ。
そうだな。誰もやられなかった。最高のハッピーエンドじゃねえか。
While they hadn't yet confirmed Shion and Kasai's safety, they were correct. This was the happy ending that they all been fighting for. However, Mion was still thinking. She only understood the reason for that in the moment the thunder struck. But as soon as the flash of lightning disappeared, her understanding vanished as well. And all she could remember was that she noticed something very important, and that shortly after she completely forgot about it. She could only feel a great sense of loss. The bloodhounds soon surrounded the club members. At first they thought the club members were their enemies, but when Tomitake appeared, he explained the whole situation. The commander of the bloodhounds appeared to beg the club members not to say a word about anything, as it was a politically sensitive incident. It was amusing to see a man like that beg while carrying all those weapons. Of course, they had no intention of talking to anyone about it. Once it had ended, it all felt like a bad dream. If, on the following day, someone had asked them what they had been doing, they might not even remember it. This day was that unrealistic to them. So if they were asked, they wouldn't say a word.
リカちゃん、無事でよかった。
赤坂無事でよかったのです。
Welcome back, Evil Slime.
ミーミ
こっちも大成功だったよ。そっちもみんな無事かい？入江診療所はすでに彼らが制圧したそうだよ。山犬の隊員たちも続々と投降に応じてる。隠れていた入江先生ともう一人の少年も彼らに保護されたそうだよ。
監督も無事ですのね。よかったですわ。少年はてどなたでございましょうね。富田さんか岡村さんあたりが巻き込まれて怪我でもしたのかしら。さとこ本当によかったのです。
Rika's smile made it clear what she had gone through. Someone could only smile like that after a long and exhausting struggle. Satoko had no idea what that smile meant. Much time would be needed to make her understand. Still, Yude would do something about it. For certain, he will bring Satoko's Nini back home.
そうださとこ、今日のお注射をしていないのではないですか。お注射をしないとダメなのです。あ、そうでしたわね。こんな時にも注射をやめちゃいけないなんて面倒な話ですこと。
Satoko seemed to have no idea that her medication was connected to the syndrome. Perhaps she was already aware, but pretended not to be. Rika vowed to herself that no matter how long it took, she was going to witness with her own eyes the moment her best friend finally parted with her tragic past.
このお注射も日に2回で助かりますわよね。以前の3回の時は本当に大変でしたわ。
Satsuko also had no idea that Satoshi was involved in the development of her medication. Yude had said that Satoshi, as a specimen, had contributed much to Satoko's treatment. Even while asleep, Satoshi longed to ease the burden on Satoko, and those feelings must have influenced Satoko's medicine, somehow. Satoko had to inject herself in the stomach. For privacy, she ran into the grove of the trees to give herself a shot. There's no danger in her doing so. One after another, the bloodhounds dropped from the helicopters. Each helicopter must have carried at least 20 to 30 soldiers. There's one helicopter at the top of the mountain, and two more halfway down the slope. Troops were pouring out from all of them, leading to the impression that the entire mountain was under the bloodhounds' control. Nobody fired their weapons even once. The mountain dogs had no choice but to surrender. It wasn't raining hard at all. The sky should clear up after 20 or 30 minutes. It was the volatile weather typical of early summer. Satsuko soon returned and spoke to her best friend.
リカ、羽生さんの姿が見えませんわね。
Yeah, that's when the lightning struck and she went
さ
back.
っきまで一緒にいましたのに。あ、羽生どこ？
It was stupid of me to think that Tokyo had sent more support. They're acting as if they'd known they were lost for a while now. I was the only one who didn't know.
どういうことなの？状況がさっぱりわからないわよ、おころぎ。
手詰まりってやつです。富武が呼んだ番犬が到着したんですよ。
番犬？名前は聞いたことあるけど。でも山犬と似たようなものでしょ。どうして応戦しないのよ。
ご冗談は。山犬は所詮傍聴部隊です。対して番犬は本間門の戦闘部隊ですが、花から勝ち目なんざありませんね。
The remaining three members looked at me in exhaustion.
大体どうして番犬が来るのよ。富武は捕まえてるのにどうして？他にスパイがいるんじゃないの？それは誰よ。
さんさ、すでに診療所が襲撃され、富武2位が奪い返されたことはご存知ないのですか？
One of the three spoke up timidly, but Okunogi signaled him to shut up.
そんなの聞いてないわよ。それはいつよ。どうなってるの、このぎ。それに村から逃げられないよう封鎖部隊というのもいるんでしょ。
They aren't even responding to me anymore. I've been left behind. I am the only one who didn't know. I'm being left out. The members looked at Okunogi, waiting for his command. Nobody's waiting for my order. No one even cares about my orders.
隊長、指揮者より無線です。
Meow. One of the members handed the intercom to
大
Okunogi.
鳥ワンダー。
隊長、各校より最終連絡です。各校を実行せよ。
各校了解した。
指揮者を番犬が包囲中です。投降を勧告しています。いかがしますか？
指揮者、いや太田、足立、ご苦労だったな。投降を許可する。武装解除して以後は番犬の指示に従え。
指揮者了解。
各員その場で聞け。指揮者が制圧された。すでに診療所も制圧されているだろう。我々は全てのバックアップと装備を失った。全班は壊滅。個々の隊員たちも武装解除に応じているだろう。山犬の完全敗北だ。
まだよ。なんとか東京の野村さんに連絡を取るのよ。番犬が何よ。番犬に匹敵する部隊を送り込んでくれるわ。R は生きていたのよ。終末作戦の実行は可能だわ。それをすぐに野村さんに連絡しないと。そのためにはまず東京への連絡手段を
Dude, I've really been hating Takono for like a while now, like this entire
こ
time.
うなると村の連絡網を遮断したのが裏目に出るわね。指揮者を奪還するしかないわ。指揮者の無線で東京に連絡して応援を呼ぶの。幸い指揮者は今あっさり降伏してみせたから奴らも油断してるはず。おこのぎと3人も隊員がいれば十分可能よ。まだ6月19日。作戦開始は21日22日だったかしら。まだ間に合う。まだまだ間に合う。ここから巻き返すわよ、おこのぎ。すぐに指揮者の奪還を実行しなさい。なんで誰も私の言うことを聞けないの。私は3歳よ。おこのぎよりずっと偉いのよ。おこのぎの言うことは聞けて、どうして私の言うことが聞けないの。
サンサ、さっきから飛び回ってるヘリが言う通りですわ。このゲームはうちらの負けです。これ以上の往生際の悪さは互いに得になりませんね。
何を言うの、このぎ。まだよ。もうくじけるの。あなたも R が生きているのを見たでしょ。今日の一日が狂い出したのは R が死んだなんて噂が流れたからよ。でも R は生きていた。今日の一日はなかったことになるのよ。緊急マニュアルはまだ生きてるわ。女王感染者が生きている以上改めて殺せば、そこから48時間の緊急マニュアル執行可能な時間が。
サンサ、緊急マニュアルがどうこうって次元じゃもうないんですよ。もう東京は女王感染者とか、それが死んだら48時間とか、もうどうでもいいんです。
Dude, I really just cannot. I don't want to keep listening to her, man. It's
終
so.
末作戦は
Ugh.
完全に失敗しました。我々のクライアントはすでに証拠の隠滅に走り回っているでしょう。我々の役目ももうおしまいですわ。山犬なんて面白い部隊を10年ほど指揮させてもらいました。貴重な経験ができましたわ。それも今日でおしまいです。そしてサンサ、あんたの役割ももうおしまいです。
何よそれ。私の役割。何のことよ。
サンサ、あんたの役目はその手に持っておられるスクラップ帳を育て上げることでした。
Oh, okay. Is it going to explain the scrapbook?
何の話よ。
I didn't expect Okunogi to start talking about my grandfather's scrapbook.
ひなみ沢症候群って病気があることは疑いません。だが女王が死ぬと48時間で村中が大パニックになるってのは見た者がいません。本当か嘘かなんて分かりゃしないんですよ。
バカなこと言わないで。ほら書いてあるわよ。どこのページかしら。他の類似の脳内寄生虫症の症例から類推して統計的にどこよ。こんな時に限って。
I flipped through the pages of the scrapbook in a panic. I can't even remember which page I'm looking for. Okunogi slapped the scrapbook aside, and it thudded. No. Landed in a muddy puddle. So it splashed on the ground. The open pages of the scrapbook were face down in the muddy water, and already turning color as they soaked up the mud.
何をするの。これは大切な。
As I crouched down to pick up the scrapbook, Okunogi stepped on it. The splash of the muddy water hit me in the face. I had to witness my precious scrapbook being stepped on and covered in
サン
filth.
サ、このスクラップに書いてあることが本当だろうとでっち上げだろうと、 どうでもいいことなんですね。真実だろうと虚偽だろう
それはどういう意味を。
I tried to get the scrapbook from under Okunogi's foot, but I couldn't pull it out.
と東京のクライアントが期待してたのは、そのスクラップ帳の中身をどれだけの人間が信じてくれるかってことなんです。本当か嘘かはどうでもいい。ただ信憑性さえありゃよかったんです。
本当か嘘かどうでも。
そうです。どっちでもいいんです。でっかい研究所で偉い先生方が研究して、これこれこういう結果ですっていう専門用語だらけの難しい資料を作ってくれて、中身などろくにわからねえ連中を騙せるだけの信憑性ってやつを。
嘘なんかじゃないわ。私と祖父が何年にもわたって研究してきて。
Are they gonna explain more of the scrapbooks?
足をどけなさいよ。
The scrapbook is getting soaked through. I'm trying my best so that's not ruined, but it's no use.
女王が死んだら村は皆殺し。そういうとんでもない話をお偉方に納得させられりゃよかったんです。ひなみ沢症候群が脳みそに寄生してどうこうとか政治的アクションに使えるかどうかにしか興味がなかった。なことはあんただって十分承知していたでしょうが。そして今や誰もこんなインチキスクラップは信じやしません。このスクラップ帳に大勢がかけた。そして負けたんですわ。山犬もこのスクラップ帳に熱く張って負けた。それだけのことですね。
インチキスクラップなんかじゃない。これは真実なのよ。全部真実。おじいちゃんが調べて、私が調べて、そして書き上げてきた真実の研究結果なのよ。だってみんな信じてくれた。だからあんな立派な研究所を作ってくれたのよ。信じてくれたからみんなそう野村さんだって。
I wonder if something's gonna happen to Nomura. Or if she's gonna, like, never appear
その
again.
研究の進化を分かってくれるクライアントはきっと他にだっているわ。だってこの研究は人類の未来の可能性。
Okunogi got fed up and kicked me. I don't weigh much, so I fell backwards and became soaked in the muddy water. Okunogi walked over and looked down at me.
幸いなことに東京のクライアントも、そしてうちらもサンサにまだ期待している役割があるんですわ。おい。
One of the mountain dogs handed a gun to Okunogi. Okunogi checked the cylinder and threw it over to me.
何よ。
サンサ、そいつで自分の頭ぶち抜いてくれませんか。
I looked at the gun. I'm used to seeing guns, working at the EDA Institute as I do. I was never frightened by guns before, but for the first time, I feel scared just looking at one.
よくあるやつですわ。
Huh. Will she shoot herself in the head or not? That is the main question.
トカゲの尻尾ってやつです。
I don't know, because, like, dude, I feel like she's still in an entire state of shock. So I don't think she will, but it's hard to say. Maybe she will, like, upon seeing the realization, start to think rationally and feel like that's all she can do. But I don't know.
サンサ、
Will the others, will the mountain dogs
海
do
軍
it?
の将の責任ってやつで、そいつで自分の頭ぶち抜いてください。
そんな。
Nobody's ever told me to die before. Nobody's ever told me to kill myself.
クライアントもうちらも、サンサが死んでくれりゃ、サンサがあることないことやってくれたってことで、すでに東京はその準備に入ってますんね。
バカなこと言わないで。そんなことできるわけ。
I'm starting to sob. My body is shaking all over.
無理ならいいんです。今のあんたにそこまで求めるのは酷でしょう。
Okunogi pulled his gun out and pointed it at me. The other members, having realized everything will not work out if I die, or work out if I die, just looked at me coldly.
投降を説得するも、頑くなに拒否し、抵抗。 銃撃戦になり、やむなく射殺。そっちが本当の筋書きなんです。自殺用の銃は短くない時間、世話になったことへの俺なりの気遣いだったつもりです。
This is mimicking the exact scene that she had in the as a child, where she's probably gonna be, maybe she's gonna run, she's gonna be chased by Okonogi in the rain.
そんな筋書き嫌よ。嫌よ、嫌。そんなの誰が考えたのよ。
あんたがさっきから助けを求めたいって言っておられる東京の野村さんです。
She had to have known. I'm sorry, but like, she literally said it herself that she knows that she's being
終末
used.
作戦が失敗した時に備え、ダメージコントロールを図る作戦ってのもちゃんと合わせて用意してあったんです。野村さんの暗号名はカッコウ、そしてサンサの暗号名はヒナでしたね。カッコウが卵をどこに産むかご存知ですか？
Oh, they kill the baby, like in other nests, and they kill those babies, or like take those eggs and then put their. Wait, that's
カッ
cool.
コウの卵はよその鳥の巣に産みつけられ、そこから帰ったカッコウはですね、もともとの巣のヒナを突き落として巣を乗っ取っちまうんだそうです。巣から落ちた飛べないヒナは地面でのたくり、まあ普通は野犬や山犬に
A bit
食わ
on
れ
the
て殺
nose,
されちま
huh?
うってことですわ。
I used the money I got from Uncle Koizumi to pay the mountain dogs, thinking I'd gained a reliable ally. I always thought that although Okonogi was barbaric, he was very reliable. But my nest had been taken over.
サンサ、あんたの味方なんていなかったんです。あんたは東京のクライアントが描いた絵の通り踊って緊急マニュアルってやつを煽ってくれ。ですがその舞台も幕が下りて、あんたにステージから退場してもらおうってことになったってことでそれ、あんたの大好きなスクラップ帳、そいつを左手に抱きながら右手で銃を拾ってください。
The scrapbook was finally returned to me, covered in mud. I held it with both hands and cried. What a joke the entire life of Mio Takano was. Right now is when I should just go back inside of that chain link fence. My shaking hands held the ice cold gun.
弾は一発ですから慎重に。頭蓋骨は案外弾を滑らすって話ですわ。
That's true. Sometimes a bullet can ricochet on the scalp.
口を開けてその中に撃つのがよくあるやり方
I
です。
didn't even know that's a thing that happens. It ricochets off the... Not if you, like, really, even if you put it right... Damn, the head has to be, like, really hard for that.
ほら、銃を持って構えて、そして死んでくださいな。
In the hills of the mountain, a single gunshot. Wait, did she actually die? Echoed. What? With that gunshot, members of the Bloodhounds rushed in. Okinogi and the other men raised their hands in surrender.
高野三佐も一緒でしたが、どうしても投降は嫌だと渋りましてね。今の発砲は三佐がこっちに銃を向けたんで撃った威嚇射撃です。
レトリバー7よりリーダー、小此木2と山犬隊員3名を逮捕。 高野三佐はこのすぐ近くを逃走中の模様。足跡が南西方向へ消えているが物資が濃い。それ以上の追跡は不能。大至急応援を。高野三佐は武装している。繰り返す。高野三佐は武装している。
Okay, okay, so she is running. She is running. He didn't die yet.
レトリーバーリーダーよりオール。重要手配犯の高野三佐が現在逃走中。高野三佐は武装している模様。注意。逃走地点を中心にパトローリングで封殺せよ。
I'm running through the mountain, covered in dirt, and still holding the muddy scrapbook. I keep falling because of the mud, and branches and tree roots continue to torment me. I lost one of my shoes, so I decided to get rid of the other shoe too, and it's the exact same. This isn't the first time I've had to run like this. This isn't the first time I've ran barefoot. This isn't the first time I felt such a pain on the soles of my feet. This isn't the first time I've cried like this. Ugh.
繰り返す。高野三佐、武装解除し投降せよ。逃げ場はない。山犬はすでに全員投降した。君に味方はいないぞ。
The helicopter above my head is calling out my name. Crawled into a hollow tree, held my knees and hid. The last time I ran barefoot like this was a very long time ago. My feet are bloody and swollen, I can no longer walk. I can only cry as I bite the corner of my scrapbook. Sadness and humiliation fight for dominance in my heart. When I feel sad, I cry. And when I feel humiliated, I scratch myself to calm my anger. And I still have the gun in my right hand. The one with the single bullet in it. I kill myself. My death is the only thing that can bring it all to an end. Killing myself is the only way to go back to that day. Is Hanyu gonna appear? When I look at the scrapbook in my left hand, I'm assaulted by sadness and fear. This would actually make a lot of sense. And then Hanyu would convince her to not kill herself. Oh no, I don't want to die. Not sure what happened then. Just die. Atone for your actions with your death. I recall the look in Okunogi's eyes. I know. I know I've committed sins. There's so many sins. Too many of them. There are more sins than I could possibly atone for. But do I have to die for them? Oh, and Hanyu's gonna talk to her. Just like God did. At her lowest point. Holy wait, the parallels. Try it again, and notice someone standing nearby. There she is. It's the girl. The girl whom I met when I came to Hinamizawa. When the Irie Institute was first opened, I met this girl at the shrine when I declared war on God. This girl. The god of this place. That god looked at me and sneered rather than sympathizing.
それでもまだ人の身を捨て神の座を求めるというのか人の子よずいぶん久しぶりね負けよこのゲームは私の負けよ人の身の分際で神に挑戦した人の子よまだ神の座を追い求めるのか数々の試練をまだくぐりそれでもなお神の座を求めるのか冗談じゃないわ神の座なんてもう無理じゃない人の子よ聞け今こそ神になる道を示そうそなたの右手に持つ鉄の火で己が正義
Whoa, my gosh, okay. So the opposite. Because I was wondering, I was like, no, Hanyu's not going to tell her to keep, like, to have her stay alive. Because Takano was saying, like, no, I don't want to die. Like, so that, like, huh. So I guess, yeah, she did come in and say the opposite of what she was thinking. But that's just not what I was expecting.
神の座に肉の器は不要人にその姿を認められようなどと思ってはならぬ神とは
孤独な
Jeez,
存在
Hanyu. That's brutal.
それに好んでなりたがる愚かな人の子よ。それでもなお神
これで私の頭を打ち抜けっていうの。そんな簡単なことで私は神になれるの？そんなにも簡単なことだったの？なら私は今まで何を積み上げてきたの？
大勢の人間の罪を背負った。その大勢の罪を今こそ己を生贄に捧げることで見そぐのだ。その勇気は称えられ、神の座の末席を許すであろう。
This is crazy. I can't remember what I said it for, but this is literally like, yeah, it was for Hanyu, where it's like her dying was essentially the exact same as what happened with, I guess like in the Bible, what happened with Jesus, right? Him dying, taking on the sins of many. She's trying to say that Takano should do the same, but it's the sins of, I mean, I guess just, yeah, people in general, but I don't know, could you call those people like evil or good, or like, do they even classify as that? I don't know, because it's essentially meant to be the sins of Tokyo, right?
何よそれ。私にトカゲの尻尾を引き受けて全員の責任を押し付けられて死ねと、そういうの？ふざけない。そんなの嫌よ。絶対に嫌。
何故に嫌か。常に人の世で和を求めるためには、一つの汚れに一つの生贄がいる。
To attain peace in the human world, there must always be one sacrifice for one sin. Okay. I guess?
それが人の世のことは
And like an eye for an eye type of
罪
thing?
のみそぎの方法ではなかったのか。そなたの望む未来に一人の少女を生贄に求めたのは、それを理解していたからではなかったのか。
わかんない話はやめて。私には何のことかさっぱりわからないわ。
それがわからぬなら、所詮は人の身。神の座を求めた身の程知らずを食いよ。
食いるわ。他の人の責任をかぶって死ぬのが神になる道なんて絶対嫌。私は人間でよかった。ただただ人間として生きていいよって、生きてもいいよって。それなのになんでこんなことに。
ならば、この度の人の世の汚れをいかにして代価を払うのか。
なんでよ。なんで誰かが責任を取らされなくちゃならないのよ。誰もが相手を利用してジョーカーを押し付け合って。
Yeah, I mean, I want Nomura to be the one that gets caught. How is this game still going? Genuine question? It should be finishing very soon. Like, sometime this week. How are you doing, Teacup? So, sometime this week we should be finishing it.
自分の手を汚さずに済むように立ち回り。それが人の世なの？違う。
This is basically, so today should be the, like, I mean, should be the end of chapter 8, which is the end of the main thing, and then there's like a side story thing that's like very short, that Diana said should take like 2 streams. So it's like we're only been a couple, how do you say, a couple streams off finishing this entirely. I've been good, been chilling. You know, nothing much. I've been playing, I mean, yeah, I've been playing Octopath, been playing this, and then also been doing some other stuff like Jackbox and all that stuff. That's basically it in terms of stream. What about you, though? What, I mean, anything new with you that you've been up to?
みんながみんな幸せだった。誰にもジョーカーなんか押し付けなかった。
Oh, wait, I made Jackbox, I forgot. Yeah, there was, yeah, Jackbox for a few weeks. We were gonna take, because we've been doing Jackbox a bunch for, like, the stream, how do you say, the stream, like, community day. So, next week, or this week coming, we'll be playing Muck. And then, week after, I think we'll be playing Roblox again. So, next week, we'll be playing Roblox. And then after that, it's not decided. We might go back to Jackbox, or we might do something else. Lots of stuff, good and bad. Well, that is both good and bad, then, Teacup. Or, like, that is our... Okay. In terms of the bad things, okay, do the good things outweigh the bad things? Or what would you... How would you... yeah. Compare them.
どうしてその世界から私はこぼれてしまったの？どうして私はこんな雨の山中を
No? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
泥ま
Sorry to
み
hear
れ
that
になり
happened.
ながら一人でさまよってるの。私はどうして
I feel like, I don't know why. If it's just like, just an unlucky streak, I feel like a lot of people have been, coming into stream and saying, like, things haven't been good recently, which sucks to hear, like, you know? Obviously you want everyone's lives to be going well, but that's not always the case. The fun thing was I got to perform in a symphony again. That was some fresh air. Congrats, Teacup! Oh, I know for such a long time you weren't able to do that. I'm happy for you. Yay! That's great to hear. You played the violin, was it?
これが私の罪に対する
That's why I stop here. Some fun place. So thank you. Hope it is. Hope it'll be fun.
うっすらと気づいてた。
You know, that's all we can hope for.
何か大切なものを間違えて。でもそれを認めたくなくて、取り返しがつかないところにまで来て。
By the way, Teacup, it's been literally like 2 years, right? But I'm finally getting to work on my Cuphead video. So, or like, what is it? I think hopefully sometime this year it should finish. And then we get to revisit Cuphead, or like my Cuphead journey. So I hope it comes out good. I've been working a lot on it. Really? Yippee! Yeah, I know, right?
人の世そなたに罪のみそぎを求めるだろう。この度の汚れはそなたを生贄に捧げることで払われよう。それが人の世の払い方。
I can send you the... Because, like, I've done, like, a while ago I finished the intro and I upload it because, like, I take it to get feedback on stuff. If you're interested, I could send it to you and get what your thoughts on it are so far.
人を超える存在にして欠けたる輪を埋める存在。人の罪を許す存在。人の罪は人には許せぬ。我こそが人のこの罪を許そう。
The human world, which you want, you're purified when you sacrifice yourself. That's the way. Okay, I'm not human. Okay, so what are you trying to say? I'm above man, being being that forgives human sins. Man can forgive. Okay, so is she trying to say that she can forgive your sins, Takano? I don't get it. Interesting. I forgive you. Demanding a sacrifice be paid for sins isn't the way of the human world. It's the way of demons. So this is not the world of man. This is a world of demons created by man and the demons infesting them. Humans cannot end that way of their world. So I became a god to grant that end. What if I put some really goofy music over this? You're more than welcome to do that if that's what you want. You could, I don't know what music you'd want to put, but you could put some really goofy music if you want to do that. It was over 1,000 years of pain. I wanted to come down from this place. I desired a world where God doesn't need to make peace. And finally, after 1,000 years' times, I found that fragment. Come, child of man. I will forgive your sins in my name. Kneel and repent. Ask for forgiveness. Then you shall receive it. Bet! Okay, let's see what goofy music you have here. Let's first, lower this. Boom. Okay, and then we go here. Bad piggies! Holy... God will forgive you. God will forgive your human sins. The god in form of little girl walked up to me and reached out. As I knelt and looked down, she touched my hand. Can't even hear it? Oh, let me turn it up a bit then. Why? Wait, it has the, like, laugh in the song? I'm gonna have to turn this down a tiny bit. Like there. I heard Did the rain just suddenly stop? I heard voices in the distance. And then I saw a girl standing in front of me. She's one of Mion's club members, my most hated enemies. Shit! She's found me. The rain had already ceased. I decided to come out of the hollow tree. After the rain, it had grown so humid. I was starting to sweat all over. Did Dianea stop by? So, Dianea, I don't think will be stopping by stream today because, I mean, she messaged me beforehand, that she's going to be heading to the movies today to watch the, end of Evangelion in theaters. So, like the Evangelion, like, final episode, it's showing in theaters. So that's what she's gonna go watch. So she said she won't be able to catch this stream today, most likely. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if it's her entire family went or just her, but yeah. I'm soaked in sweat, mud, and rain. I feel filthy. I've been bitten by mosquitoes and my body's itching all over. Yo, Bogan, who's playing this banger? Yeah, Teacup came in and was like, kind of play a goofy song. We were like, sure. So yeah, we're just playing some Bad Piggies right now. I'm bitten by mosquitoes. My body's itching all over. Oh, this is why I hate the mountains. I pointed the gun at her. The girl just looked at me calmly as if she didn't see it. At the very least, she did follow my orders. What should I do? Should I take her as my hostage? I only have one bullet. How long can I keep running for?
Hanyu! どこだよ! 参ったな。マジで迷子だぞ、あいつ。
見つけましたわ、羽生さん。羽生、一体今までどこに
It was a sad moment, so I played something. I don't know if necessarily. I guess, like, yeah, sad moments, I guess, necessarily is the thing. But here, I'll give you guys the story. Okay, let me explain to you the entire thing of Chapter 8, because this is the most important thing. We figured out that Takano was the leader of this secret organization that was in charge of researching this disease called Hinamizawa syndrome, right? That was in this, yeah, and the hospital was actually a secret research center. But their research their funding got pulled. So, Takano, and there's like this entire thing that goes deeper technically, but essentially what she does is that she wants to kill this character over here. Because if she kills this character, the entire village goes insane, basically. So, the entire chapter of Chapter 8 was kind of thwarting her plan to kill Rika and to kill the entire village is essentially what was going to happen. But, that scene over there was her, like the general, her, Takano, basically begging for forgiveness from God, because the entire thing was that she wanted to become a god. So, that's now God, who is now transformed into, like, one of the club members here, and yes, so that's that scene that you saw, was her basically begging for forgiveness from God that she ever decided to, like, want to become a god in the first place, and that's God basically forgiving her sins. That was the entire idea behind that scene. Transform! I don't even know when I said it, but yeah, I do not doubt your ears to hear transform. Roblox's Peak found 3 friends playing Spin a Femboy. Wow. Yeah, I can't remember what I played on Roblox, but like there was let me see if I go on Roblox and go on my homepage and see what game I was playing recently that I was like, dude, what is this? Home games you're missing. But there's so many Roblox games that are just so strange now. There's Spin an Anime Girl. Let's go through. There's Spin an Anime Girl. There's Anime Baddie RNG. Anime Girl Paint by Numbers, whatever. What else is there? I have recommendations. What are those recommendations? Let me see what. Trade a K-pop idol. Dude, Gym Star Simulator, and this guy's on crazy roids. Feed your Teto. Camping with 99 cats, and for some reason the cat's a fish. My giant sandwich. Crunch my butter. What's my username? It's Super Cyberman, and this is my profile. Look at me. I'm so beautiful. Look, I love fried chicken, and it has a fried chicken hat. Or like head. Probably the greatest thing that could ever be made. Wait, hold on. What am I holding on for?
最後の最後までついてないわね。いや、あるいはついてるのかしら。最後の最後で。
Oh, she's gonna try to kill
一矢
Rika.
報いることはできそうね。
Why do you have so many followers on Roblox? Because when I was younger, when I would play Roblox, I would go into every single server and follow everyone. Like, literally, it's when I'd go in, get into a server, follow everyone. And then, they could follow me back if they wanted to. You know that? Because there wasn't any, in, like, early Roblox, there wasn't a friend system. It was only following. So you could only, like, follow each other. So that's what I did every single time.
みんな、これが何かわかるわね。銃よ。身動きしちゃダメよ。
Yeah, I mean, remember Teacup? We played Roblox like was it like a year or something ago? And we probably added each other as friends during that time. Accept my friend request when you can. I will accept your friend request. Friends. Here we go. My friends. Who are you? Are you C2 or Sprout and Petal? Because I have two friend requests apparently. I have no clue. I'm guessing you're Sprout and Petal. I'm gonna accept that. Who is this person? Sprout. Okay, yeah. I don't know who C2 is. Whatever. My friends list is entirely Transformers. Like, every one of your friends every person on your friends list has a Transformers outfit?
ミオンちゃん、他の誰かを撃たれたくなかったら、一歩前に出なさい。
ダメだよ、みーちゃん。
Leon stepped forward quietly. She certainly has a lot of courage. No wonder she's their
あ
leader.
なたのおかげで。
You can check. I mean, I'm not saying you're lying. It's just like, that's crazy, you know? Like, all your friends, it's all Transformers. Well, I see you have Transformers. You're Ratchet, right? Why do you have a friend called KFC and there's Spider-Man? But yeah, I see. That's a lot of Transformers you got, Teacup. It's do you just go add every single Transformers person on Roblox?
私を殺そうと、この山中に怖いお兄さんたちが歩き回ってるわ。どうせ私は許されない。でも、このままではあまりに悔しいわ。
We all play together. All 268?
だからね、せめてお返しをしてやりたいの。
偉そうに言ってるけど、その銃に弾が一発しかないのは知ってるぜ。
その通りよ。 でもその一発でミオンちゃんが死んでしまうかもしれないとは考えない？
高野、ミーを撃つ気ですか？
誰も動いちゃダメよ。焦って撃ったら誰に当たるかわかんないんだから。
Okay, how is this scene gonna play out then?
動いちゃダメだよ。私の後ろに隠れてて。
勇敢ね。誰かを撃たれるくらいなら自分が撃たれようという自己犠牲？
まあね、拳銃の一発でそうそう人間くたばるもんじゃない。当たりどころにもよるだろうけどさ。
驚くわ。なんて勇気なの。みんなに代わって私に撃たせようってこと。
But, okay, so she kind of just ignored Hanyu, but I feel like Hanyu is gonna be important in this.
銃声がすれば怖いお兄さんたちが殺到するだろうから、それを
So,
恐れて
Teacup, how
私
is
が発
Spin
砲しない
assembled?
なんてのは、今の私にはないわよ。
じゃあ撃てばいいよ。ただし、その一発を撃った後、私の仲間はあんたを八つ裂きにするよ。
I did not want to join. Any reason why?
望むところよ。人を呪わばなんとやら。おこのぎを屈服させるほどの名称と相打ちなら、それも悪くないわね。
撃ちなよ。その代わり。絶対私に当てな。
You're gonna wanna shoot Vika, I feel.
私以外の仲間に当ててみろ。あんたを死ぬより辛い目に遭わせてやる。
怖い。
ダメだよ、ミーちゃん。高野さんは本気。この人、本当に
You
撃つよ。
have a peak Roblox account too, though. Welcome, Dianea. What is so peak about my account? How was Evangelion?
なんとか時間を稼ぐんですのよ。そうすれば、番犬の誰かがきっと。
もちろん。だから、一矢報いる機会がなくならないうちに、さっくり一発
Teacup was asking for you earlier, Dianea.
さーて、どこに当たるかしらね。
I think when we played on stream, everyone should have added each other from what I remember.
下手くそだから、どこに当たっても許してね。
ミー、本気ですか？
みんな動くんじゃないよ。私は部長さ。みんなを背中に守れるなら、こんなに嬉しいことはないね。もし、当たりどころが悪かった時はさ。部活ロッカーの中に神棚を作って、私
My dad
は
went to see a movie too, but a different one, so I'm waiting for him out front. Oh, okay, okay.
次期部長はケイちゃんね。
Did your sister go with you guys as well, or no?
みんな、そん時は後をよろしく。
Miona is prepared to die. I'm already cornered. I won't accept any words of negotiation. Miona understands that. She doesn't want anyone else to be killed. That's why she chose to be a shield for her friends. That was an easy decision to make for her, because none of her friends would end up hurt. What movie did your dad go to see? If she ends up just getting injured, that would be a stroke of luck as far as she's concerned. Even if she doesn't make it, she thinks that's far better than seeing any of her friends die. And that's why Takano will shoot. Even though she understands Mion's noble intentions painfully well, it's too visceral for her to accept. So she'll shoot. I will pull the trigger. With all the absurdities of the human world riding on that bullet, I will shoot her. Sent you a few recommendations. So, okay, you put pressure. What's the difference between pressure and, doors, right? Because it's the same, like, idea? Animal Hospital, Forsaken. I know Forsaken. Lunch Rush, Death in the Box. I don't know anything about Death in the Box. Spin it on a wheel? Okay, we'll keep it in mind. Whenever we play Roblox, I could put all these, and then, you know, we'll probably talk with everyone in chat, and then, like, you know, talk amongst everyone, and then we'll see what and then if we can't decide between a couple, we'll probably put those on a wheel. Yo, Berserk, what up? Different game just based on the same concept. But why do you like Pressure more than Doors? Like, what do they do differently that you like more? Let me play Among Us. The greatest variation of that song.
トランプのババ抜きはやる？
やらないね。うちはジジ抜きばっかだよ。
同じようなルールよ。
More love into the game, honestly? I see, okay.
人の世の罪はババ抜きと同じ。誰もが一枚の
I mean, no, because the one that I played more was Doors, and then, like, when Pressure came out, I played a couple of it, but I never got, like, a bit of it, but I never got to the end.
やらないね。うち
それは勝者を求めるゲームではなく、一人の敗者と生贄を決めるゲーム。私はその馬場を引いた。そのカードをもう渡す相手がいない。だからその腹いせにあなたを撃つの。不条理な人の世らしくね。
I'm preparing myself to shoot. There's no hesitation left in me. I will shoot her. I'm serious. Mion closed her eyes and opened her arms to try to shield her friends as much as she could. I wasn't, like, saying one is better than the other or anything, Teacup. I was just wondering why you personally like one more than the other, you know? Like, what's the reasoning? Because I don't have any stake in anything. And that was when Hanyu stepped forward and placed herself in front of Mion.
羽生、危ないから下がっ。勇敢なるミオン、あなたの勇気はそれで十分です。人の世のババ抜きが必ず人に押し付けられなければならないものならば、それを引き受けるのが私の役目。羽生、あんた何を？リカ、この世界はすごく楽しかったです。私も部活メンバーに加われてよかった。見ているだけじゃなく、加わる部活は本当に楽しかった。ありがとう。もう十分に楽しんだ。
Would you let Takano shoot you? I don't think so. I don't think I would like that very much. I don't think I would want to be shot. You know, I like existing in the world. So I don't think I would let her shoot me. Now, if it was like, would I let her shoot me or any one of my other friends? Yeah. Let her shoot me any day of the week, right? But that's a different context.
神の身には過ぎたくらいに幸せだった。
I think he would die, but I don't know. Yeah, that's what I think as well. That's what I think as well, Evil Slime. In that moment, Hanyu glared at me adamantly.
さあ撃て、人の子よ。人の世の押し付けずには済まぬ罪を放て。それを受け止めてやる。わかったわ。わかったなら死ね。
The club members must have thought I was joking or bluffing. They didn't think that I would actually shoot. There was a noise like something exploding. In a world where time became as sticky as syrup. Holy, does Hanyu stop time and, like, Matrix dodge it? Question mark? Is she actually the GOAT? And it was all a bait the entire time? He saw it happen. The silver bullet hitting an invisible wall in front of Hanyu. As though the wall was protecting her. The bullet wanted to pierce Hanyu's chest, but it couldn't reach its goal. A bead of sweat formed on Hanyu's forehead. She had stopped the bullet with an invisible force.
大丈夫です。人の身でもこれくらいのことはできますです。
Okay, so I'm sorry. I can do this even in human form. So you're saying, Hanyu, that when you're in God form, you're stronger. Yet, you would always say that you cannot affect the world as a god. And like that's the entire reason you became apathetic in the first place and you didn't care about anything. You were just like wait and see and like. So, which one is it? Are you stronger in human form or in god form? The silver bullet was being pushed back. Takano was startled by this otherworldly phenomenon, but then she spoke one phrase.
この化け物が
The silver bullet mashed through that invisible wall. There was no longer a wall at all. There was no wall to protect Hanyu from the bullet. The bullet approached Hanyu's chest. Somebody let out a silent scream. Nobody could stop it. Nobody could stop that bullet. In that world of frozen time, nobody could stop the bullet that was stopped just inches in front of Hanyu's chest. Hanyu's friends had seen this scene before. The moment, checkmate. No matter how much they screamed, there was no way to avoid this tragedy. They knew they knew that from their memories. Oh, so they all remember at this point. Why is there like just a white line here and over here?
あなたは死ぬ。絶対死ぬ。
Man, if only we could just type dodges and then dodge it, you know? Why doesn't Hanyu just do that? Just go, say dodges, and then dodge it. Like, why can't you just do
好きな
that?
だけ走馬灯をご覧なさい。それが終わったら胸板をぶち抜かれて血をばらまいて自分の血で溺れてのたうち回って死になさい。
その覚悟がなかったら僕はミオンの前になんか出ないのです。
Hanyu thought this would take care of everything. Hanyu wasn't supposed to exist in the first place. She would leave the stage, and the rest of the cast would stay unharmed. This is how it's supposed to be. But in that moment, something happened to surprise even Hanyu. In the world of frozen time, in which nobody could move, Rika reached out. Wait, actually, Matrix? She just like stopped the bullet? How could she move? Even Hanyu couldn't move. Dodge's ad? Is that true, Teacup? Were you able to? Why could a mere human like Rika grab that bullet?
それを驚くのはおかしいわ。あんたと学んできたんじゃない。奇跡の起こし方。今日何度もすごいことが起こったけれど、本当の奇跡なんて何一つ起こしちゃいないわ。すべて死んじゃえば起こって当然のことだった。
Something tells me Teacup wasn't able to dodge the ad.
だからこの最後の瞬間に本当の奇跡を使うわ。私お社様の生まれ変わりだしね。最後にこの程度の奇跡は使わせて。
Okay, Rika? You just grabbed the bullet in frozen time? Rika rubbed the frozen bullet gently, very gently, and then held it. And then embraced it lovingly, her hands at her chest. In that world where not even Hanyu could move.
高野も羽生も人の話を聞かないやつだってことも分かったわ。ミオンの話を聞いてた？私たちはババ抜きなんてやらないわ。ジジ抜きしかやらない。それを高野は同じようなゲームだと笑ったけど、全然違うゲームなのよ。
Wait, is it because it's like they cheat? In Old Maid, a single joker and an harmonized element is added to a full harmonized set of cards, and people try to force it onto another. But in Old Bachelor, one card is removed from that harmonized world, and everyone forced the unarmed fragments onto each other. It's different than having a joker, because everything would be in harmony if there wasn't something missing. Players try to get rid of something in both games. What they try to get rid of is very different.
ジジ抜きも同じ。
Wait, what? Okay. One card's removed. And everyone forced it. Okay. Wait. So something is added. I'm confused.
敗者の手元に1枚カードが残って終わる。それを高野が同じだと例えた気持ちはよくわかるわ。でもね、違うの。だってジジ抜きは
If the missing card was added back in, there would be no loser. Hanyu, the missing card in this world where someone has to force their sins onto another, has joined the game. So this game has no losers. Yet you're still trying to take one card away. What a waste of a miracle.
敗者なんかこの世界にいらない。
Berserk, what are you saying?
これがフルでリカが奇跡を求めた1000年の
Wait,
旅の
1,000 years? I thought it was 100 years. Where'd you get the extra 900 from?
答えよ。
Booty guy? Iladai. Oh my gosh, you're so dumb. You suck, Berserk. You're so stupid. The answer... Bro lied, it didn't work. Oh, you tried to dodge the ad? Yeah, I guess it didn't work. Huh, unlucky. Maybe it only works for evil slime. There's always a loser because we were playing a game of cards with one missing. I never lie. Or there you go. Maybe it only works for only works for evil slime, and not us peasants. If we could fill in for the missing card by believing in each other and helping each other, we would complete a full deck of 52 cards. A complete world without a loser. A complete world with no one is left out. No one has to stay out of the circle. Nobody has to cry or be burdened with sins. A world where everyone holds each other's hands and forgives each other's sins. When people live, there will be sin. What's important isn't to avoid sins, but to forgive them. A world can only become ugly and twisted when people try to stay pure. Let us accept our sins. Let us all forgive. That is the answer Rika Furude reached. A complete world. A world free from the sins of the human world, where one has to become a loser. Rika reached that as a human being. After an unbelievably long time, she finally reached it. What? Unless she's saying that Hanyu is like not her actual mother, but essentially her mother, because Hanyu taught her like all the things. In which case that would make sense. I feel like it's more a metaphorical sense rather than a literal sense. The frozen town had begun to thaw. There was smoke coming from the muzzle of Takano's gun, so it was definitely fired. However, nobody got hit. Keiichi looked around fearfully to make sure nobody was bleeding. They were all fine. Nobody had been shot.
外しやがった。
邪魔はないね。
The tension lifted in Mion's body, and she began to sweat all over.
この私がこの距離で。
All the club members thought the same thing. It was a miracle that the bullet didn't hit anyone. The club members had all felt the same way. They were all thinking, if it's gonna hit someone, let it hit me. However, Rika Furude wished for a miracle that was far beyond that. Rika wished for a miracle that was higher than self-sacrifice. Oh, so Rika just, like, willed it into existence just because she could. Like, I understand, like, if everyone works together, a miracle could happen. I understand that's the thing, but no, Rika took that literally, and she's like, no. And then completely warps the entire fabric of reality. Rika wished for a miracle that was higher than self-sacrifice. She wished for a world where the bullet wouldn't hit anyone. She wished for a world where Takano wouldn't be hurt because she shot someone. Footsteps were rushing towards them. Takano tried to run, but she tripped over a root, and the scrapbook in her hand scattered everywhere. As she tried to gather up the papers, members of the Bloodhounds surrounded her. All the Bloodhounds pointed their guns away, and some even poked her with them, but her away. But Takano still didn't stop gathering up the papers. Some of the men stepped on the papers, and Takano tried to pull them out from under them. She tried to pull them out, begging them in tears not to step on her precious papers.
高野さんさ、あなたを逮捕します。
私が全部悪いことになるのよね。
The club members, feeling bad for her, looked at the ground.
両手を後ろに回せ。こら、抵抗するな。
いや、いやよいや、おじいちゃんのスクラップ持ってくの。
Takano just wanted to pick up the pages of her scrapbook, but the Bloodhounds, thinking that she was just resisting, pulled on her hair to make her stand up. Although this was her fate, it was too hard to watch her be treated that way. And then a noble voice resounded among them.
待て
Radiating with divine light, a man appeared. They all knew this man very well, but they had never seen him look so
調
determined.
査部の富武2位だ彼女は調査部が保護するしかし富武に司令部から直ちに東京へ連行せよと命令を受けています君たちは彼女を見て気づかないのか彼女の全身を見ろかきむしった後でいっぱいじゃないかひなみ沢症候群のかなり高いレベルの発症が疑われる
There were lots of horrible scars on her wrists, arms, and neck. Takano had scratched herself throughout the day because of all the stress. There was no way for anyone to be certain if those marks were symptoms of the syndrome. When Tomitake said that, it certainly sounded true.
しかしサンサは入江機関で予防薬の投与を受けているはずです発症するわけがありません君たちは資料をちゃんと読んでいるのか予防薬は 100% の効果を保証するものではないと書いてあるぞ十分読んでいれば彼女の状態が末期症状であるとわかるはずだ調査部は彼女の尋問にあたりひなみ沢症候群の治療が最優先されると考えるそもそも今回の事件が彼女の意思に基づくものなのか末期発症による妄想錯乱によって引き起こされそれを誰かが
But
利用したのか
still, even in cases like, for example, say it's like mental health or whatever, you know, they can still be declared innocent, I guess. But I guess at the end of the day, nothing happened, right? There's conspiracy to do whatever, but nothing actually happened. So I don't know how that works in like a court.
慎重
Or
な
how
判断が
like
なく
what
て
the
は
sentence would even
全
be.
容解明は不可能であると考える彼女の罪なのか彼女の病んだ病の罪なのかこの場で断言するのは不可能だそれを判断するためにも彼女には治療を受ける権利があり義務がある
次郎さん
彼女を直ちに入江機関本部へ移送し発症レベルの検査に入る
Oh, this way she can't be used as a
高野三佐の
scapegoat.
治療体制を準備させるよう入江二佐に連絡をただし三佐については今後厳重に監視をつけ全ての行動には制限が加えられるものとする詳細は調査部長岡一佐から上級司令部を通して
Okay,
命令がある
Tomitake. Once again, I still have no clue how he suddenly grew pecs and abs, but cool. The Bloodhounds convey this information over the radio. Nobody had any objection. Their job was to arrest her, after all. Any interrogations or investigations after that were the job of the investigators. So if those were the orders from the investigations, then that was that. Tomitake walked over to the muddy figure of Takano.
次郎さん
Okay. Whoa. Why is this? What is happening? Oh, okay. I started hearing like double. Takano buried her face in Tomitake's chest and cried. Only Tomitake and Takano knew the meaning of those tears.
遅くなったね君を迎えに来たよ
次郎さん
君がそうだと思っているような悪い人やり直そう今度こそ君の本当の人生を
Damn. Even after all of that, and he literally learned that she wanted to kill him and being captured and like everything, he still can do this for her. Holy.
できない
My goat, Tomitake.
私いっぱい
Genuinely, this has like bumped him up a lot in terms of how I see him as a
やり
character.
直したりなんかしちゃいけない
Maybe not a lot, because he's not like there often, but because he's often like he dies every other time, but still.
私は自分の罪の重さで
そうだね君の罪はひょっとすると軽いものじゃないかもしれないでも大丈夫僕が一緒だから一緒に償おう高野美代の罪を償おうそして僕と一緒に田無美代子を取り戻そうその日まで僕は決して君のそばを離れない
生きてていいの私は生きてていいのみんながお前が死ねば丸く収まるって私に言うよそれでも私は生きてていいのそれでも次郎さん 生きててもいいっていうの。それでも私は
世界は君を許さないかもしれない。でもそれが何だってんだよ。僕が君を許
Damn,
す。
Tomitake. Maybe he's just a simp.
だから生きよう。
Maybe that's what. Oh, wait, am I allowed to say that on Twitch? I don't know if it's bannable.
死ぬことは罪の償いにはならない。生きて償い、世界に許しを請おう。そしてやり直すんだ。そうしたらきっと思い出せる。君が本当はどんな人で、どんな風な笑顔を浮かべていたかをね。
What did you say? So he's just a simp. That's what I said. But I know that Twitch banned the word, right? But I don't know if I can get banned for that, for saying that. So I have no clue. But we're just... nobody snitch. Nobody snitch. Not banned, you're good. Okay, great. After a while, Takano was taken to the Ide Institute in handcuffs. She was, however, handcuffed with her hands in front of her. She was holding the scrapbook. Tomitake had cleaned the mud off of it. I don't think you can clean the mud off of it. It literally soaked into the pages. The downpour from the earlier afternoon had passed. The cicadas began singing again, reminding everyone— Berserk! What are you doing? Reminding everyone that this was a normal June in Hinamizawa. It was so hot despite being June. The sky was brilliantly clear. Someone asked someone else this time. She looked at her watch. Why are you putting nerd emoji? It was 3 p.m. The Watanagashi festival would be starting at 5. It was almost time. Even from there, the Furude shrine could be seen. There were red lanterns hanging all over. Once the sun went down, those lanterns would be lit. It was almost time for the Watanagashi festival. Thank you, Evil Slime. Wow. And with that, everything would end when the Higurashi cried. Absolute cinema! The game that stretched across different worlds had ended, and what the winner obtained after their victory is that the game ended without a loser. Honey was prepared to leave after the game was over. Thank you for saying. Holy. Honey was prepared to leave after the game was over. So what was the plot? Okay. To try to condense it down as best I could. Let's get a paint. Let's get some paint down. When the game... Thank you. Okay. So. The entire idea of the plot is that it takes across... You know... So, you know the first couple chapters. Like, literally... The only thing that technically matters to understand the plot is chapter 8, which is the chapter I'm playing right now. Because that is how the thing ends. Every other thing is like, you know, multi-worlds theory? That's the entire thing. So every other chapter was a different world. Right? It's a different, like, fragment, as they call it, in the game. The essential story of it is you have this girl, called Takano. It's, this woman. The Tuno artist, I know. Takano, let me see. Takano Higurashi. Okay. This woman, okay? This is her. Hi. Hi, Takano. Okay? She. So let's put her here. She is a, she was, at a young age, lost her parents in an accident. And was essentially placed in this really abusive orphanage. To when this basic like person who doesn't know her took her in. This guy, her grandfather, as she called it, was a researcher for this thing called Hinamizawa syndrome. His research was basically scoffed at. Nobody believed in this research. So she took it upon herself and made it her life's goal to research this thing. Hinamizawa syndrome. Which, essentially, what Hinamizawa syndrome does is that, it will take place, it can alter someone's mental But I agree, Bogan. I agree. It can alter someone's perception of reality, and basically it makes them go insane. And essentially, it's like, you know how if you have like a beehive, right? And it's like you have a beehive here, and there's like a queen bee, for example, and then you have a bunch of worker bees, right? You have a bunch of worker bees here, okay? The queen carrier, as they call it, is called Rika. If anything happens to this queen carrier, then these things all get affected. So usually, if anything, you know, if the queen carrier like has something bad happen to her, or like anything happens in any way, it can affect all these people in Hinamizawa that have the illness. Not like stroke. It's more, it happens like mentally. Like it alters their perception of reality. Like for example, it was kind of building up what happened in earlier chapters. Like, never mind, not artist. No, I'm not an artist, Evil Slime. I am not an artist whatsoever. So, like, in Chapter 1, for example, Keiichi thought that everyone was conspiring against him to try to kill him. But in actuality, this wasn't. This was the syndrome kind of taking effect. It basically makes the person hallucinate and imagine things that are not actually happening. And, like, it sort of basically turns them against everyone. That's the idea behind it. So, Takano eventually builds up her, builds up her standing and gets funding to research Hinamizawa syndrome. That is the idea. But after a couple years, funding gets pulled. The person who was backing her, like basically a friend of her grandfather's, he dies and her funding gets pulled. And in her in her depression, she's like doesn't know what to do, and in which case someone approaches her. This basically very high up figure in this in the organization that was funding her in the first place, and basically tells Takano, I can't help you with your research, but I can help you take revenge. So Takano, essentially, what she wants to do is to go over and kill the entire village of Hinamizawa. Every single villager she wants to kill. So to do that, there's a manual that's like, oh, if the queen carrier dies, which in this case is Rika, which is this person, Rika Higurashi, right? Her, if she dies, then the entire village will be placed in like they'll have to be killed. That is what the manual says. That is what the organization says. That needs to be done. So essentially, in Chapter 8, it was them fighting against this organization that was trying to, you know, kill Rika, I guess. And there's like a huge conspiracy behind it that was like basically unraveled over the course of the entirety of Higurashi as a whole. That is like the best I can summarize it in like a short amount of time. Obviously, there's a lot more, but that is the best that I can come up with. If you have like any, like, because obviously you guys probably come in and leave at certain points. If you have any questions about anything in particular, about what you were confused of how this ties into the story as a whole, I'm more than happy to answer it. But that is generally the overall storyline of Higurashi as best that I can describe it. You're the Higurashi, Tuno. I am. Are you back home? Yeah, an elaborate conspiracy to genocide an entire village is the purpose of the antagonist. Exactly. Yes, yes. I think I genuinely just forgot everything. What Dionea wrote is essentially it. Just read what Dionea's sentence is, and that's it. But she was still there. She was allowed to be there. In other words, she wasn't the card that was taken away. The card that was taken to play the game of Old Bachelor was no longer there. The breeze rustled Hanu's sweaty, messed up hair. She was dumbfounded. Wait, are you back home, Dionea? Are you back from the theater? Or are you still waiting for your dad? Rika went over and stood next to her. She didn't need to say anything. She only smiled at Hanu. That girl had pretended to be a bystander, but decided to step onto the stage. And then she thought that was enough, then tried to step off of it. With those memories of her bright time on stage, she tried to step off, but someone grabbed her sleeve and stopped her. She was told that she could stay. I am not, I am waiting. Damn! This movie was much longer than yours, or was it like, did it start at a later time? She was told that she could stay, and she realized she was still on the stage, and she didn't have to leave after all. There was a spot for her on the stage. She was no longer a bystander. And that was an unbelievable miracle. She didn't even exist in the script. Nobody needed her to be there. But the miracle had allowed her to stay.
あれだけ苦労した旅だったのです。その程度の奇跡じゃちょっと足りない気もしますですよ。見た十分ですよ。こんな奇跡僕の身には十分すぎて。
Rika smiled at Hanyu one more time and passed her what was in her right hand. Hanyu felt something cold and hard. What was it? Hanyu slowly opened her hand and looked at it. It was a bullet Takano had fired. This was the proof of their miracle. It was the proof that Hanyu could exist there. It was the proof that they could be together forever and ever.
もうすぐ暗くなってお祭りの時間になりますです。みんなで楽しくお祭りで部活なのです。もう脇で見てることなんかできませんです。きっと新人いじめの洗礼で罰ゲーム三昧でかわいそなのです。もう綿流しのお祭り見てるだけじゃないのですね。そうです。だってお祭りは見るものじゃなくて加わるものですよ。
Were they testing the speakers? It was still bright outside, but there was music playing already. The cheap, dubbed background music collection of festival music could be heard from the Furude Shrine in the distance. It sounded so exciting to her. This was what she had wanted to join in all this time. Rika held her hand. Let's go together. Let's go to the Watanagashi festival. All of us. Together. Yeah. Maybe the Higurashi, when they cry, was the friends we made along the way. They had almost too much energy left. It'd been a long day and many things had happened, but they still had the energy to go to the festival. It was, after all, the special day of Watanagashi. The curse of Oyashiro-sama had been lifted, and no tragedy would ever occur again. It was the first peaceful Watanagashi, the first one without a tragedy since the dam conflict. The villagers had noticed that the phone lines were disconnected during the day, but it was fixed so quickly they didn't pay much attention. They heard the Self-Defense Force helicopter near the mountains, but the rumor had it they came to the wrong place for their training. The elderly villagers laughed and said that the young men of the National Defense Force need to pay more attention. Some people say the Self-Defense Force even came to the Idia Clinic. The villagers didn't even get suspicious about that. They assumed that the Idia Clinic had started doing physical checkups for the SDF. There are pieces of broken glass on the roadside near the village border as if there was an accident. Some people wondered how anyone could have had an accident when there was no obstruction on the road. The elderly people said to each other they always had to drive carefully, even on a familiar road. But it looked like only a trace of a normal accident. They didn't get suspicious. The rest was a ghost story. The villagers heard an extra firework to signal the festival taking place. It wasn't an echo. The people in charge of the fireworks were puzzled. When Rika said Oyashiro-sama must have shot the extra firework, the villagers simply believed that was true. It was the night of the Watanagashi, the biggest festival of the year. The villagers forgot their worries and enjoyed themselves. The club members were doing great as usual. Idia shows... I wonder if everyone's going to show up. No? Okay. Oh, well, okay. We're going to go through a lot then. Never mind. I thought there was going to be... Yeah, never mind. Cheers shows up. That's the first time that happened. They were doing so great that they were all taken to the main tent and yelled at by the mayor. That was a normal Watanagashi night for the villagers. There was one thing that was very different. The girls fought for an unimaginably long time in many different worlds for the sake of this night. However, no one would know that. Oh, there's another big change too. Rika Furude said that she wants to go to a pool in the summer. It's unusual for say that she wants to do something. Wasn't this the game that killed and buried him out back? Yes, this was the game. That was the game, Teacup. So that happened in chapter 3. Happened in this chapter, right here. And in that world, it was Keiichi getting overtaken by Hinamizawa syndrome. That was the entire idea. And killed this person's uncle because he was abusing her. No, that was Tuno yesterday. No, I don't do that. I thought we've already established that I don't cannibalize people. Teacup, you don't need to question where that comes from, okay? Just like, it's just another thing that people are saying about me that's just not true. It's unusual for her to say that she wants to do something. She wants to see the stars. She wants to go on a camping trip. She wants to look at sunflowers. She wants to make the school into a haunted house, etc. There's so many things that she wants to do over summer break. Oh wait, we have Air Piz the song. Right. Rika Furude for the first time is making plans for after June 1983. Because this is the first summer break she's going to experience after 100 years of repeating the same life. She will now experience an all-new summer vacation. Who would stop her from getting excited about that? Rika Furude is looking forward to waking up before Satoko to rip the page off the calendar at the end of June. Rika Furude's infinite future has begun. There are infinite possibilities, yet she can only make one choice. But that's why it's a great world. Let's talk for a moment about the people who fought with Rika Furude. Mion Sonozaki has vowed to study hard so she can continue her education after the summer break. According to Keiichi, even that may not be enough time for her. However, how can the legendary club leader, Mion Sonozaki, fail an entrance exam? She'll more than likely find a way to get into the school she wants to go to. Hopefully it isn't an illegal one. Anyhow, she's looking forward to enjoying her final summer break. She has tons of plans. The club members can get away from Mion, even during the summer. Once you're involved with her, she'll always find a way to get at you. No matter how much you want to be alone, you'll never go back to spending a boring summer by yourself. Keiichi Maibara has been asked by Mion and Shia-sensei to be their next class president. He was also asked to be the next club leader too, but he declined immediately. Keiichi likes the club because Mion runs it. He continued saying that it's Mion's club until she got mad. Keiichi can't understand why she's so angry. Well, Keiichi wouldn't be Keiichi if he wasn't dense. So things are rather lively around him again today. His good name continues to spread even in Okinomiya. Rena Ryugu is growing more energetic every day too. What is she doing? Satsuko, Rika, and Hanyu spend every day in fear of being abducted by her. Still, she's been acting more mature lately. She takes care of her younger classmates, and she's almost like a mother figure to the class. She's like a mother to all the club members too. After hearing that, Keiichi said that he'd be a father for the class. As usual, Rena thought about that too much and blushed. Satoko Hojo is as lively as ever. She used up most of her traps on the mountain during the battle with the mountain dogs, so she's setting up new ones for the next event. Rumor has it that some members of the Bloodhounds were so impressed with her trap techniques that they asked her for some lessons. There's supposed to be a training area near Mount Fuji, and they asked her to set up her traps there. That's not a very good idea. The Sea of Trees really will become a forest of no return. Either way, Satoko keeps saying how she wants to fight against the Bloodhounds next. She's invincible. Also, she'd become a great cook. That's because Hanyu had been teaching her. According to Hanyu, Satoko's a quick learner compared to Rika. Satoko's dream is to master fried chicken, which is her brother's favorite, and welcome him home with it. I'm the only one who knows this, but her dream may come true very soon. As for her brother, Satoshi Hojo has yet to return home. His condition is unchanged. If there's been any change, it's in Shion Sonozaki. She goes to the clinic on her days off. Nobody knows why she goes there, but she seems to be very happy, so nobody pays much attention to it. Mion has teased Shion by saying she's maybe planning to get implants, but Shion just smiles. Also, for whatever reason, she's been visiting her relative's clothes shop and buying all kinds of men's clothing. Lately, she's even buying more than just men's clothing, but why is she so excited when she visits the clinic with a maid outfit that's not her size? The truth is shrouded in mystery. The biggest change is probably that Shion babies Satoko nowadays. She tries to make Satoko call her Ne, which only annoys Satoko. Yosuke Irie has two jobs now. On one hand, he's a respected doctor, and on the other hand, he's an Okay, this guy is so dumb. The Irie clinic was supposed to be closed, but the villagers pleaded with the authorities not to shut it down. While Irie isn't originally from the village, he and everyone else feels that he's one of the villagers now. He's an indispensable part of village life. The conservative attitude towards Hinamizawa syndrome is gone, and now it's being researched very proactively. The syndrome is being researched so passionately that hopefully in the near future, all the victims of the disease will be freed for good. Also, later on, EDA will publish an advanced article about the influence of brain on human behavior, which will surprise people in the medical world. I won't go into the details here, but I'll talk about how one should hate the sins instead of the sinner. The deceased Ifumi Takano and Mio Takano's names will be mentioned in that article. Hiro Tomitake still visits Hinamizawa every season. He's still known as the fighting, traveling photographer, and he continues to walk around the village looking for good picture spots. However, he isn't seen in the village as much as before. His bicycle is always parked around back of the clinic, so maybe he spends a lot of time there. Some villagers say maybe he's sick and being treated, but his bright smile proves they are wrong. Mio Takano hasn't been seen since that day. Nobody knows where she has gone, but obviously Tomitake isn't worried, so she must be doing fine. She'll probably show up one day out of nowhere and start telling ghost stories to scare some kids. As for Mamoru Akasaka, what happened to him was pretty funny. His wife and daughter followed him in secret. They pretended to run into him at the festival. Rika called him Papa, so things grew complicated all of a sudden. Akasaka's wife smiled, but she took his neck with her braided hair. Her arms were folded, but her braid moved like a tail. This is so dumb. However, Akasaka's family liked Hinamizawa, and they said they wanted to come back. Oh, there's his daughter, yeah. Akasaka's daughter and Rika grew so close they seemed like sisters. Hiraudo Oishi has gotten back to playing Mahjong. For whatever reason, Akane Sonozaki has joined his table too. There's rumors that a riot squad almost got dispatched to the Mahjong parlor one time. His colleagues say Oishi had calmed down quite a bit. It's probably because he has reached closure within himself, but his colleagues know nothing about that. He's planning to move to Hokkaido when he retires, but he wants to come back every summer. His bright second life is waiting for him. Tatsuyoshi Kasai hasn't changed much compared to the others. For some people, this was a life-changing event, but for Kasai, it was just another episode added to his tale of heroics. According to Kasai, this incident was just a little bigger than usual. If this was just a little unusual, then what in the world would be needed to impress him? Shion insists that he will tell her, but Kasai only tells her that that's a secret. Also, he regretted exposing that part of his past. Shion keeps begging to tell her all about it, but he simply ignores her. Let me talk about myself too. I, Hanyu, am doing great in my new life as Hanyu Furude. I'm finally getting better at playing games, so now I'm taking the role of the club's dark horse, a position formerly reserved for Keiichi Maibara. I have a bad habit of believing everything I hear, so me and the others always tell me some strange things. Thanks to that, I'm getting tougher, to put it in a good way. Shrewd to put it in a bad one. But then I need to, otherwise I wouldn't survive in this club. I'm going to continue to learn a lot of stuff throughout these club activities so I can live in the human world. Nice. Thank you, Airpiz. Sunday, June 19th, 1983. Night falls on my longest day of the past 1,000 years. The club members are having a blast. A lot of people are here. The stall vendors are still doing their business. The speakers are playing rough yet exciting festival music. I've known all of these. But how wonderful is it to actually feel and hear them in person? I thought I knew. I thought I knew because I've been following and watching them. But that was completely different. Then a nuke falls out of the sky and everyone dies. The end. That was literally the end of chapter 7. Like, essentially that. It was like, happy ending, and then the village gets brought to, like, concentration camp levels, and then literally gassed in their own rooms. Or in the school. And everyone dies. That's literally what happened in chapter 7. Happy ending, and then the entire village dies. We had a takoyaki eating contest. There was no octopus in it, but it was still very tasty. We had a shaved ice eating contest. I would have enjoyed the shaved ice if I had eaten more slowly. I bought a candied apple for the first time. Everyone took a bite from it. It was tasty. And it was fun. We played a shooting game. I don't know how difficult it would be to shoot a target, but it was fun too. Also, we played a shady lottery game. It was one of those things where you pulled a string, I got a prize. Nobody got a good price. We all complained about it to the vendor. That too was just so much fun. And it was time for the dedication dance. Of course, we go there early, so we commandeered the best seats. That's never happened before. Usually they arrive late and it's like super full, no? And they have to sit at the back. And I snuck out and stood where I was told to. I could see better than the other club members. This was the spot where the object of worship sat. This is where I was supposed to be during the ritual dance. No, this is where I thought I had to be. But seeing the dance from that spot wasn't fun. Therefore, I returned to where I was and sat with everyone else. They saved me a spot. Everyone rubbed my head while asking me where I went. I apologized by saying ow ow. That made me very happy. I watched the performance in a crowd of people. It was the best dance I've witnessed in the past 1,000 years. I couldn't keep either my happiness or my tears from flowing out. After the dance was over, a handful of cotton was passed around to all the villagers. We let the cotton ball absorb all the filth and sins from the past year and washed it down the stream. Cotton is cotton. Obviously, it's not human. We use cotton instead of a human so that nobody's sad. In other words, this is the way to purify sins without making anyone suffer.
はい、これ。羽生ちゃんの技だよ。やり方わかる？わかりますのです。こうして、ポンポンしてから流すのですよ。はんはん。
The girl who gave me the cotton took the letter I from her name during the last year's Watsunagashi and washed it down the stream. By doing so, she was freed from her suffering and began a new life. We drifted our sins down the stream. It's not the same as pushing our sins onto the cotton. Instead, we wash away our own sins and forgive ourselves. We forgive each other, we help each other, and that's how we create our own story. I put my cotton in the stream gently. And there's everyone. Well, I thought that would be everyone, but it's only... Oh, okay. Why is there, like, a gap here? The cotton went down the stream into the world where sins are cleansed. I let my bare feet soak in the stream, or in the clear stream. Ah, Satoshi. That makes so much sense. Yeah, that's where he would be with Satoko. I watched the long, long line.
Now, not to nitpick or anything, technically, Shion would be here if Satoshi's here, but, like, you know, whatever.
I watched the long, long line of cotton flowing down the stream in the dark, surrounded by people sending their cotton flowing down the wondrous stream. Yeah, I don't know why. I definitely feel like, I guess, like, this was not in the original, like, you know, obviously this art wasn't in the original thing, but yeah, I feel like they definitely... Like, for a final picture of the entire group, I feel like they definitely could have positioned them a bit better, you know? Like, Shion and Ming being far apart, it's like saying that they haven't resolved their issues with each other, but, like, that entire thing, they, you know, have resolved whatever conflict they had, you know? That entire, like, scene in the basement and all that. And then, like, I do feel that Shion also should be next to the gap because Satoshi would have been there. Maybe if you really want to, you could put Keiichi in between Mion and Rena, since that's, like, the kind of vibe that they're going for. Maybe Hanyu should be at the very center, because it's like, you know, she's a part of the group as a whole. She's not, like, ostracized or anything. Maybe I'm thinking too far into this. But, like, you know, for a final scene, I feel like you really need to, you know, put, like, a lot of thought into it. But I'm just thinking about it too much. Yeah, whatever. This is a complete world where all the fragments were put together. This is an ideal world. What else is there? What else do you need? Hanyu Furude still wants more. Because we can be even happier than this. We can be even happier if we wish to be. Not a long time from now, but in the near future. Then when is it? I told you. It's in the near future. We will be happy then too. See? Higurashi, when they cry, Kai. Everyone is entitled to happiness. The difficult part is accepting that. Everyone is entitled to happiness. The difficult part is fulfilling that. I, too, am entitled to happiness. The difficult part is working out a compromise. Because from now on, I'm going to live a much, much happier life. I'm not going to compromise with just this. We'll retrieve all the happiness that we missed. 100 years, worth for me. 1,000 years, worth for you. Frederica Birkenstall, yes. Bernkastel. A report on the coup d'etat of the Idia Institute. Proposal. Regarding the coup d'etat of the Idia Institute. One of the responsibilities of the Idia Institute here... Dude, I'm not gonna be able to read all this. I'm just gonna have to read on screen. I'm not gonna be able to, like, sound this all out. Why are these things crossed out? Rip me on audio. I'm sorry, there's just way too much. There is just way too much for me to read. I cannot read this fast enough. And that's the end of the main story of Higurashi. What a journey. 9 months in the making. I think it was 9 months, right? Yeah, 9. Wow. What a journey. What a journey. Is the game done? Was it worth it? I definitely think it is one of the most unique ways I have, how do you say? It is one of the most unique ways a story has ever been told from what I have, like, experienced. So I think in that way, I would say it was worth it. However, I do think that the story could have been shortened, and there are ways that it kind of feels like it almost extends itself for, like, it just feels like it adds stuff. Wow. Wow. Please do it again. I'm not doing it again because I actually did it realistically. I'm not doing it again. There's no need to do it again. Bro, I missed it. You could clip it and go back. Have some compassion for me. When he's authoritative. Higurashi, when they cry, ho. And that is the end of Higurashi, the main story. We still have the epilogue to go through, but we'll do that another day. Dude, why they still have to do this sound for the scenario jump mode has been unlocked? Why wouldn't there be like a happy ending? What is there like Whatever. How many more chapters? Well, this is the last chapter. We just have an epilogue to go through. So it's this. For, yeah, I mean, it's just this. Like, this is it. And then it's like, I think it's literally just one, yeah, Saikoroshi. And this is it. This is all you have to do. And then after that, it's done. We're done with Higurashi. What was that Steam community shit? I don't know. There's always a bunch of Steam community shit. Extra. Okay, what do we have here in the extras? We want to go to tips first, and then we can do staff room at the end. Oh, there's only one. Okay. It specifically said curated for you. I don't think so it said that. I don't believe so. Check. I'm not checking. There's no need for me to check. Check. I'm not checking. There's no need for me. The forbidden treasure. Onigari no Ryo. It's the most valuable asset of the Furure Shrine that's kept in ritual storehouse. In ancient times, when this place was a chaotic world of both humans and demons, this precious sword defeated the demon god. However, nobody has seen it for 1,000 years. According to the legend, it is sealed in the statue dedicated to Oyashiro-sama in the ritual storehouse. Because of its structure... Berserk, no matter how many times you type it, I'm not checking! As the belief in Oyashiro-sama continues, it will remain a forbidden tool, forever sealed away. It is also only mentioned in the Forbidden Scrolls at the Furure Shrine. Therefore, only a handful of the Furure Shrine... No, you can't ask me a question. It's on a different topic. I swear. What is your question? Therefore, only a handful of the Furure family have ever known about its existence. Can you check Steam? I saw the message, by the way! I saw it! I just didn't comment on it! Only a handful of the Furure family have ever known about its existence. According to several of these Forbidden Scrolls, the sword is shaped like a willow branch. There's some ink paintings of the sword, made by a few Furure heads, but none of them match that description. That means they drew those pictures from their imagination. What do you mean? What do you mean, Shama? What do you want me to say? Like, why do you want me to reply to that? Is a fragment? Is a secret fragment a part of Connect? Okay, okay. None of them match that description. That means they drew those pictures from their imagination. Legend says there's a girl named Oka who received a divine message that commanded her to defeat the demon god. Berserk, I saw the Steam message. Like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? There, look, I'm checking, okay? I'm checking. Look at this. Wow. Wow. So cool. My actions are separate. I'm even okay. You require a blade that was neither a human sword nor a demon sword. Only a sword that mixes humans and demon qualities can defeat a demon god. It's been said repeatedly that the ancestors of Hinamizu are half demon and half human. Can you check what the Steam community curation was? You guys are so stupid! Oka Furure dates unknown is said to be the first person whose blood was mixed that way. The description is what conveys that. I'll message you a beautiful poem when I get home. Okay, sounds good. When you collect all 50 fragments in chronological order, you unlock that. Okay. Heaven gave Oka a precious sword. The precious sword was shaped like a willow branch. Now I want to know too! Teacup, do not join in this! Its tip split 3 ways, which symbolized heaven, earth, and its people in unity. It also symbolized the harmony between heaven, demons, and humans. Oka. headed to the swamp, where a demon god hid and defeated him with this treasured sword. Each forbidden scroll describes how she defeated the demon god differently. Some say she disciplined him, some say he ran away, some say he surrendered. What happened to the demon god afterward is unclear too. The oldest scroll says the precious sword destroyed the demon god's horn, but other books didn't mention that. The precious sword that defeated the demon god was then enshrined, and was named Onigari no Duo. Oka sealed this precious sword in the deepest place of the shrine to hide its existence forever. Even if it was created to slay the demon god, the sword didn't belong in this world anymore, and shouldn't exist on the face of the earth. Some say that it was why it was removed from the human world. So wait, Dionea, is this, like, thing that you sent me something I could do myself, or is, like, it would take forever to do? But some said Oka was the daughter of the demon god, and said that she wanted to banish the sword that killed her mother. The ancient cult of Oyashiro-sama suggested Oyashiro-sama was the demon god, the source of the chaos, the source of all that was evil, the source of all friction. To prevent the demon god from returning to the human world, worship and comfort is the root of that ancient cult. It may be a type of cult devoted to an evil god. The idea that it's not worship for protection, but to stave off a curse links slightly to the modern worship of Oyashiro-sama. You want to send the Steam achievement I can send you a guide for it? Yeah, sure! But seems slightly distant from the modern worship that asks for Oyashiro-sama's blessing and sees them as a god of marriage and good relationships. It fosters the argument that humans are good by nature, saying that all discord is the work of Oyashiro-sama, and there are no demons in the world of man. After that, the legend continues on what we know today, the harmony of humans and demons. But in this era, all the scrolls of the origin of the belief in Oyashiro-sama and the scrolls of the matriarch of the Furude family have been sealed due to being forbidden. That happened probably because of the new image of Oyashiro-sama, that of a loving and affectionate god, and the ancient image of Oyashiro-sama, the source of all evil, didn't match. It became too difficult to explain the faith's doctrine. Also, if one believes the Forbidden Scrolls, the Furude family was descended from one who killed her own mother. That would mean their blood was cursed. If all of that is true, then today's faith is very different from the one that was started by the matriarch. One of the leaders of the Furude family from hundreds of years ago wrote this. The Onagiri no Ryuo, the legendary precious sword. Wait, Ryuo. Yeah, okay. Is a symbol of both. Dude, what did I just say? Onigari no Ryuo. Whatever. The legendary precious sword is a symbol of both the Furude family and the sins of the human world. It was an era where people pushed the source of their evil onto others, and could only purify their sins by killing one another. The matriarch, took in the root of all evil herself and let her child murder her. That was how this place was freed from the chaos. Okay. Send you on Discord. Sounds good. The matriarch usually means Oka Furude, but sometimes it means her mother. The notion that the matriarch was a demon god was a taboo among the Furude family. Okay, sounds good. I will check it after. However, obviously, some leaders interpret it that way. When the Furude family, or when the world of man commits the foolish action of seeking to blame others and tries to return to the world of demons, that's when faith will disappear, and the statue's head will shatter. That's when the Onigari no... Okay, this time there's one U, so it's Ryuo, not Ryuo, like before. Second Coming will once again revive the memory of the Furude family's forgotten sins. Have you read it, Diana? Is the demon god a fictional legend, or someone who actually existed? In some rare cases, babies were born with horns. They were called children of the demon god. Descendants of the Furude family who will read this. The myths passed down by our forbidden scrolls are numerous, and their contents vastly differs. Do you plan to? Don't get caught up in the smoke. No matter how different all these scrolls are, there's one thing that they all want to convey. Search the heart of Oka Furude, the one who sealed the Onigari no Ryuo forever. That's the fate that all Furude family leaders must understand. I'm gonna be honest, so much of that just flew over my head. Read all tips. Nice. Okay. Staff room. Hello, this is Yukishi07. Thank you for playing Matsuribayashi. No, thank you very much for playing Higurashi When They Cry until the end. Matsuribayashi is, in a way, a solution episode for the situation with Takano and the kids starting from halfway through Minagoroshi. How can they defeat Takano's conspiracy? How can they reach their ideal ending? I wrote this episode as a duel between you, the reader, and me, the writer. So if you think you created a better resolution world than my Matsuribayashi, that means you defeated Yukishi07 in this duel. I, Yukishi07, have provided 2 resolutions. One is how to fight against Takano. First, here's a hint from the Minagoroshi chapter. You found out about Takano's conspiracy, which relies on Emergency Manual 34. Next, here are hints from the Watanagashi and Meakashi chapters. It's been 48 hours after Rika's death, yet the village is peaceful. If you put those 2 together, obviously the basis of this emergency manual in which Hifumi Takano wrote is that everyone will develop terminal symptoms within 48 hours isn't true. When you put those 2 together, you realize that if Rika's body was discovered 48 hours after her death, then it's possible to prevent the final operation. In the Matsuribayashi chapter, I wrote about an attacking side and a defending side like a novel. If I were to simply write about the resolution, all I had to write was for Oishi to announce that Rika died at least 48 hours ago. And Takano's conspiracy would fall apart once the news reached Tokyo. This was a rather easy resolution, like a puzzle, so I'm sure many of you got this right. The other resolution was the ideal ending for this world. To answer this, I have to explain the worldview of the story first. There are hints all over, but the crucial ones are the Tatarigoroshi and Minagoroshi chapters. Satoko's uncle comes home, and Satoko's life becomes miserable. How can she be rescued from that situation? If this story was an exercise in murder, then the Tatarigoroshi chapter is the correct answer. Keiichi kills Teppei and hides his body well. There's a happy ending. But I didn't end the episode that way. Instead, I denied it with a bad ending. The resolution the worldview of Higurashi When They Cry advocates is a non-violent one, with everyone united together. That is established in question chapters such as Onikakushi, Watanagashi, and Tatarigoroshi. In those worlds, when someone becomes suspicious about everything and worries about it alone, things get worse, and that leads to tragedy. The Meakashi chapter is a sublimation of that situation. On the other hand, when one talks to their friends, it's revealed that the causes of their tragedies are quite silly. That is indicated in the Tsumihoroboshi and Minagoroshi episodes. In other words, can you see the worlds of Higurashi? Anything can be overcome when people talk to each other and help one another. Yeah, that's the entire issue. I guess at the basis of Higurashi that I guess he was trying to capture. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen in reality. Helping each other creates friction. And oftentimes, working alone is a lot simpler. I guess it depends on the person. However, we always hope that we can connect with other people and understand each other so that we can face any difficulty. In that sense, this world is a fantasy. That's right. In the worlds of Higurashi, there's one magical rule. That is to talk to the others and accept help from them. Then you can defeat anything. With that, it's possible to make a miracle happen. If that can be cast into an absolute rule, it would be sort of a magical, systematic miracle. Wow. Just like what Hanyu and her friends said in the story. Aha, you love being a cat. How do I love this? I'm pretty sure I just came in and it said Berserk redeemed, make me a cat boy. Like when Hanyu and her friend said in the story, that is the worldview of Higurashi When They Cry. If you follow that rule and think about an ideal ending, I bet the first thing you'll think is an ending where all the club members unite and defeat Takano. Actually, there are scenes in the Matsuribayashi chapter that affirm that sort of ending. However, at the same time, Takano is described as a very lonely person. By doing so, I raise a question about the resolution. Thanks, surplus? What do you mean surplus? Where did surplus come in? Everyone else unites, defeats Takano, and makes her into a sacrifice. This is a happy ending for everyone except Takano. It's a very popular style of story for the protagonists to unite together and sacrifice the antagonist. Aliens come to Earth to invade us, so the world unites and defeat the aliens. Hooray for humans, and we must get along. What do you mean? Yes, I am. Look at me. This is a very popular storyline all over the world. There are plenty of stories that use aliens, devils, or monsters as clear bad guys and make them into sacrifices. 2 parties fighting with each other become allies once the third party shows up. Storylines like these are indeed exciting. By adding a sacrifice, different parties unite and become allies. To create this situation, there has to be always a third party. The sacrifice as well. Oh, you're saying thanks, Surplus, because Surplus started this in the first place? Is that what you're saying? I'm sure many of those who created such stories must already have noticed that. We always add a third enemy that can't possibly unite with us. Make up with each other, we try to find a common enemy. Am I the only one who feels that describes our world today? In reality, this world only belongs to humans. There are no aliens or devils or monsters, so for us to find an enemy, we'll have to fight each other forever. To make up with each other, we need a new enemy, so we just keep fighting, or end up fighting someone else. In this chapter of Higurashi, I declare that to be the demon of the world of man. With these explanations of the worldview here in mind, you wonder if the resolution of defeating Takano is in fact an ideal resolution of the Matsuribayashi chapter. That's right. It's basically the same foolishness found in Tatarigoroshi. According to that logic, the Minagoroshi chapter isn't the best resolution for the problems that surround Satoko either. You understand that? Wait, what? What do you mean scammed, mob? What do you mean scammed? How can they make up with Takano? You wouldn't suggest to make Tokyo into a new enemy and let club members join with Takano, would you? If I continue to talk about this issue, I'll probably end up mentioning something religious, so let me stop here. What kind of ending would be the best outcome following the worldview of Higurashi when they cry? Perhaps it's something better than the Matsuribayashi chapter. You can consider this a graduating question for Higurashi when they cry. Maybe I will leave it as my final gift to those who enjoyed this tale for 4.5 years. Thank you for reading this extremely complicated story. In the end, what was all this for? If I were to put the answer to that question in one word, it would be entertainment. It's not important if you were able to answer the riddles. After all, if you enjoyed yourself, you won. Yukishio 7 will continue to challenge you. Higurashi when they cry ends here, but I hope to see you again in a different world. What kind of work do I want to create next? Maybe it's fitting to choose my next work from an infinite number of possibilities while listening to the chorus of the Higurashi. I want to express my gratitude to all the people who have supported me until today. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you all again soon. Yukishio 7. Okay. Being cryptic as always. Had a chat with Yukishio 7. Okay, let me look at what you have here, Dianea, as your video that you've placed, just to see that the I guess Easter egg is. Kids meal flags. So you said this comes up after you've connected all the fragments in chronological order? But how do you connect up the fragments in chronological order? Like, or do you have to watch them in chronological order? Like, how does it work? You do them all in order. Okay. So is it like you have to... Wait, but how do you do them in order, though? Like, because some of the fragments start later in the timeline than others. Oh, you watch... Okay, watch them in chronological order. Okay. Then you unlock. Okay. Of course, her yell carried through to the neighbors. But since it was the child voice, nobody complained. Her father's voice didn't reach the girl, because all she was thinking about was making a new secret base with her friends in the field. Her father knew the girl had been looking forward to going to the mall, and that if they went without her, he'd be upset. Yeah, no, I'll probably do it just like, just to have the achievement myself. It's whatever. He also knew that the girl liked collecting flags from the kids' meals at the restaurant there. And one more would bring her collection to 20 flags. Let me increase this speed slightly, because it's like a bit too slow for what I want. The girl was making a wish on those flags. He believed she collected 20 of them, she could become happy. Oh well. You suppose he'd bring flags home as a souvenir. I'll say, yeah, no, that's what I say. I will check that out, later. Because I did see it. It wouldn't be a big deal. If he asked the waitress, she'd bring one for him. As the girl skipped her way to her friend's house, an unfamiliar woman stopped her. Obviously, she wasn't from around there. The ties between the neighbors were very tight around there. The girl knew everyone's face. So if there was a stranger, it was either a new mailman or someone who's lost. The woman said to the girl, "What?" Any person would think the woman was crazy asking something like that. The girl was too innocent to think that way. She answered immediately. So if she said she wishes to die, she would have died with her parents? The girl couldn't figure out why this woman would know that. As the woman left, the girl stopped her. She was curious, although it was a little scary as to what response she'd get if she answered differently. The girl turned and tried to run back home. The mysterious woman tried to confirm this. But I don't understand why she's here. The girl thought this was some kind of riddle, so she pondered it for a while, but she couldn't figure it out. And she clapped her hands as if she came to a conclusion. Wait, what? I wish I could scroll back up and check. Or would I regret it? You sure you want? Okay, okay. The woman stepped aside. The girl bowed to her and ran home. She saw her parents locking the door to leave. The girl jumped on them and nagged them, as she wanted to go too. Oh, the girl was going to the mall with her family. Then the three family members went to the bus stop, waited for the bus and boarded it. Dude, I keep thinking I'm playing the game. I'm trying to click to continue. The driver was feeling the pressure to make up for the delay, and the passengers could tell that from the way he was driving. She stood on her knees, looked out the window. Her mother told her to sit down because it was dangerous. Was she gonna die? The girl stuck her tongue out. Then a bus reached a busy, difficult to grasp intersection. The people in the bus didn't pay attention to the scenery and assumed that the cars around them were obeying the traffic rules. That's why they didn't even notice that the oncoming car was meandering and the body of the car was sticking out into the center turnout. The driver, too, was a little too busy looking over his shoulder to notice the movement. The girl and her parents came home under the sky of full stars with shopping bags in their hands. They unlocked the door, turned the lights on, and then the girl put her bags by the front door and ran into her room. She opened her desk drawer, took something out of her pocket, and put it in. She closed the drawer once, but opened it again, and then spread her treasure on the tatami floor. There were the flags of many different countries that came with the kids' meals. The one with 3 colors. She lined them up as she counted. She counted out loud. Then she danced around happily. For she now had 20 of them. It took her so long to collect that many. It was hard work for this girl who was so proud of herself for reaching her goal. She worked so hard that there must be something good waiting for her. She made a wish to become happy when she collected 20 of them. Therefore, something wonderful must be waiting to happen. The girl waited excitedly, but soon realized it wasn't a magic lamp, so no genie would be jumping out. Maybe it wouldn't happen that night. Maybe it'd be tomorrow. The girl decided to wait patiently. She accomplished something as great as collecting 20 flags. Surely some wonderful happiness awaited her. Surely some wonderful miracle awaited. Or perhaps it might be like a charm, keeping sad misfortunes at bay. The girl put her 20 flags back in the drawer. As she heard her mother tell her to brush her teeth and go to bed, she ran to the bathroom. This is fine, isn't it? It's okay to get a miracle in advance. What should I do next? There are plenty of fragments to play with. What? Want to try too? It's fun. Makes you feel like a god. A world with Satoshi or a world where the Sonozaki sisters didn't switch. Wonder what a world with Satoko's parents and Rika's parents alive and well would be like. Oh, how about this? Akasaka gets enticed to the enemy side by Takano. Okay, let's not think about that. That's so interesting. Personally, I'm curious about a world where Takano is madly in love with Tomitake. That kind of happened in the last world, no? It'd be fun to match Keishi with different girls too. I love drama very much. Let's see, what should I do next? I have so many fragments. Hey, you want some? What kind of world are you going to make? Okay, interesting. But how is Rika able to travel back in time, like, and appear there? What? Why is there no train crash? Why did they take the bus instead? Higurashi when they cry Kai. I wonder. Why are you putting blah ha 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 ha? As like I didn't just finish it. And like you're trying to say like, oh, there's so much more. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? I know why, but I won't tell you. I guess I'll have to figure out or something. Okay. That'll be it from me then, I guess. That was the end of Higurashi Matsuribayashi. So tomorrow, we'll try chapter tier list. We can do that after Saikoroshi, if that's what you want. But yeah. Hamburger. That's what I saw you have, Tika. I don't know what that was. What is hamburger? But yeah, we'll do that after we finish Saikoroshi, and then we can do chapter tier list at the very end. Short, yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry, stretching. Okay, we're almost at the end of Higurashi, and then after that we'll be doing Deltarune. And then I don't know what other games would you guys want me to play. We'll have to figure that out. Because like this is meant to be chat's day to decide, so you can kind of decide then. But yeah, that'll be it for me then for today. Thank you for everyone who stopped by the stream. I appreciate it as always, and I will be back with more Higurashi tomorrow.